Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, we are transporting ourselves to a very specific and frankly, kind of chaotic date.
February 5th, 2026.
Exactly. If you were working in tech, or, even just checking your phone that Thursday, you remember where you were.
Oh, absolutely. It was a red letter day. I don't think chaotic is too strong a word. It felt like the ground just shifted under our feet.
It really did. Usually, in this industry, we get these massive AI announcements spaced out.
Right. You get a few months to digest, to panic a little.
Yeah, to update your resume and then to adapt. But on February 5th, it felt like the universe just decided to play a joke on us.
A pretty big one.
Within the span of literal minutes, we're talking under an hour, we saw two massive announcements just drop simultaneously.
It was like a duel at high noon.
Except instead of revolvers, they were wielding the most advanced autonomous agents humanity has ever built.
And we are talking, of course, about the two heavyweights.
OpenAI and Anthropic.
On one side, OpenAI dropped GPT-5.3 Codex.
And on the other, Anthropic hits publish on Claude Opus 4.6.
Right. And our mission today isn't just to rattle off version numbers or, read the patch notes.
No. We want to understand what this moment actually meant, because looking at all the source material, this feels like a real pivot point.
It is a pivot point.
Yeah.
It's the moment we stop talking about AI as just a tool or an assistant.
Right, something that helps you find a missing semicolon.
Exactly. And we moved into the era of the autonomous agent.
That's the key phrase we're going to be chewing on today, autonomous agent. So we're going to put these two titans head to head.
Yep.
We've got the benchmarks, we've got the user reports from that week, and we're going to answer the big question.
Who wins?
Who actually wins? And inevitably, does this mean the traditional programmer is, well, done for?
That's the heavy question, isn't it? I think the short answer is it's not game over for humans, but the game has definitely changed its rules.
Okay, let's unpack that. Set the stage for us. It's Thursday, February 5th. What actually happened?
So imagine the scene. Notifications are just lighting up everywhere. OpenAI pushes GPT-5.3 Codex. Now, to be clear, this is an evolution of their GPT-5 series, which originally launched back in August 2025.
So this isn't brand new tech, it's a refinement.
It's a refinement, but it's a specialized beast.
And almost at the exact same time.
Anthropic hits publish on Claude Opus 4.6.
And what makes this so wild, as you put it, is that these aren't just chatbots anymore.
Not at all. The sources highlight that both companies are aiming for agency.
Agency.
They want these models to act as full-time teammates. They aren't waiting for you to type.
They're waiting for a mission.
Exactly.
A mission.
All right, let's dive into the first contender then. GPT 5.3 Codex, OpenAI's champion. What is this thing under the hood?
Think of it as a fusion. You have the specific Codex training stack, which is incredibly deep on, programming languages, syntax, all that.
The really technical stuff.
The really technical stuff. And they've welded it to the general reasoning power of the GPT-5 series. So it's got the street smarts of a generalist and the technical chops of a specialist.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's like taking a brilliant philosopher and forcing them to read every single page of documentation on GitHub.
Okay. And the first thing that jumps out from the specs is speed.
Yes, speed. It is approximately 25% faster than version 5.2.
Speed is great, but does it actually work? We've seen fast models hallucinate garbage before. Fast garbage is still garbage.
And that's where the benchmarks come in, and they're pretty impressive.
Okay.
The sources highlight a few key AGENTIC benchmarks. Now, AGENTIC means we aren't just testing if it can answer a multiple-choice question.
Right, you're testing if it can do things.
Can it perform a job? Exactly.
Yeah.
So in Terminal Bench 2.0, it hit 77.3%.
Contextualize that for me. What is Terminal Bench?
So the terminal is that black screen with the text commands that the matrix-looking thing developers use.
Right.
Terminal Bench test if the AI can navigate a computer's operating system through that command line to solve problems.
Can it find a file, edit it, run a script, see an error?
And then fix it, yes. Hitting 77.3% means that nearly 8 out of 10 times it can navigate a complex environment without, crashing the machine or getting lost.
That is huge.
It is. And in SWE-Bench Pro, that's software engineering benchmark, it scored 56.8%.
And that one involves taking real-world GitHub issues and fixing them.
Actual bugs from open source projects, yes.
56% might sound low to a layman, but for a machine fixing code it's never seen before.
It's mid-level engineer territory. And maybe most interestingly, in Oswald Verified, which is another test of navigating an OS, it hit 64.7%.
Okay, those numbers are high. But let's talk about the vibe.
Yes. The user experience.
Because numbers are one thing, but using it is another. The sources describe the experience of using Codex as having a very specific flavor.
Okay, too. It's the interactive colleague. That's the best way to describe it. The focus here is heavily on interactivity.
Like pair programming.
Exactly like pair programming. Imagine you're sitting next to a really smart, really high-energy developer.
Okay.
You can interrupt them. You could say, no, not like that. Try this library instead. And they just pivot instantly without losing the thread.
Wow. So it maintains that back and forth flow.
It does. It's not just go away and do this task.
It's let's do this together.
Yes. It's designed for long tasks, sure, but its superpower is that fluidity. It's available everywhere. The app, CLI, VS Code extensions, it wants to be in the trenches with you.
The tight feedback loop.
That's the one. You write, it breaks, you fix, it runs. Over and over.
Which feels very on brand for OpenAI. Fast, available, chatty.
Right.
But then we have the other side of the ring. The calm, mysterious one.
Claude Opus 4.6. The deep thinker.
This is an upgrade from Opus 4.5 from November 2025. What's the philosophy here? It sounds totally different.
Is very different. If OpenAI is, let's chat and code together, Anthropic's philosophy with Opus 4.6 is, give me the specs and leave me alone.
More autonomous, less back and forth.
Exactly. The solitary genius in the corner office with the noise-canceling headphones.
Huh. Okay. And the tech that enables this, it's the context window, right?
We have to talk about the context window. It's the game changer here.
Hit me with the number.
1 million tokens.
1 million. Wow. We hear these numbers a lot, but what does that actually mean for you, the developer?
It's currently in beta, but yes, 1 million. To put that in perspective, that's not just a few files or a chapter of a book.
It's the whole library.
It is enough space to ingest a gigantic enterprise-level legacy code base into working memory.
Okay, that changes everything, because usually with AI, you have to cherry pick.
Right. Here's file A and file B. Please fix the bug.
And then the AI breaks file C because it didn't know file C existed.
Exactly. With Opus 4.6, you feed it the whole thing. It can see the dependencies, the weird hacks from 5 years ago, the database schema, all of it at once.
It essentially downloads the entire project into its brain.
It does, which is a massive advantage for complex architecture.
And the sources mention a feature called agent teams. This sounds like something out of science fiction.
It's fascinating, and it's unique to this model. It spins up a team of specialized agents to handle your request.
A team, like virtual people.
Virtual roles. It divides a complex task. One agent might be the architect, who plans the structure.
Okay.
Another is the coder, who writes the syntax. And crucially, another one is the reviewer.
So it's critiquing its own work.
Yes, but from a fresh perspective. The reviewer agent looks at what the coder wrote, finds bugs, finds security flaws, and sends it back for revision.
They iterate among themselves before they even show you the result.
That's right. It's managing a workforce of itself. This allows for really careful planning, sustainability in long tasks, and self-debugging.
It's not just guessing the next word. It's simulating a whole development cycle.
You got it. And the benchmarks back this up.
They do.
It leads in humanity's last exam, which, by the way, what a dramatic name for a benchmark.
A little over the top.
And specifically in a metric called GDP-Val-AA. In that one, it beat GPT 5.2 by roughly 144 ELO points.
ELO points, like in chess rankings.
Exactly. In chess, a 100-point gap is significant. It implies a much higher tier of strategic understanding. This isn't a margin of error.
It's a different weight class.
It is. And it also leads in BrowseComp, which means it's excellent at browsing and synthesizing information from the web as part of its tasks.
So we have the interactor colleague versus the deep thinker. Let's get to the main event, head-to-head.
The versus segment.
The sources call this the reality check, because we can talk about benchmarks all day, but we're in what they call the post-benchmark era.
Right. It's all about product market fit.
If I'm a developer sitting down to work on February 6th, 2026, which one am I actually using?
Well, let's break it down by category. First up, speed and feedback.
OpenAI takes this, right?
Hands down. GPT 5.3 Codex wins here. If you're doing GitOps, quick data analysis, or just need to iterate on a function rapidly, the fluidity is unmatched.
Feels snappy.
It feels like an extension of your own thought process.
Okay. What about bug finding?
This is a tighter race. The sources give a slight edge to GPT 5.3 Codex for algorithmic fixes and real-world environments.
Probably because of that specific Codex training data.
I think so. It's seen every error message under the sun, so it just recognizes the pattern instantly.
But then we get to autonomy.
And this is where the tables turn completely. For autonomy and planning, Claude Opus 4.6 wins. No question.
For tasks that take hours or days.
Yes. If you have a task like, hey, refactor this entire module, update the tests, and write the documentation, Opus is the choice.
It's the one you trust with the keys to the office over the weekend.
Exactly. And that connects directly to context and review. Because of that 1 million token capacity, Opus 4.6 just wins on brutal efficiency for enterprise projects.
It holds more of the project in its head.
Which means it makes fewer context errors where it forgets how the system fits together.
It's so interesting how distinct the personalities have become. We talked about this, but let's crystallize it. Codex is the collaborative friend, always on, high energy. Let's try this. Oh, that didn't work. How about this?
It's the brainstormer. And Opus is the senior expert, maybe a bit more introverted.
You slide a dossier under the door.
You hear some typing for 6 hours, and then a perfectly formatted report slides back out.
So what's the developer consensus? The sources mention a trend emerging from that first week.
The trend is, why choose?
Of course.
The consensus is to use both.
The pro stack.
It just makes sense. You use Codex for your fast iteration, you're thinking out loud, coding directly in your IDE.
And
Then, when you need to architect a new system or do a deep debug of a massive failure, you switch tabs and feed the whole problem to Opus.
it's like having a team with the fast-talking hacker and the master architect working together.
Precisely. And that combination is where things get really explosive on the productivity side.
Which brings us to the human element. Because when you combine these two tools, the output is, frankly, it's terrifyingly high.
The sources share an anecdote that really stopped me in my tracks. There are reports of developers achieving things like 93,000 lines of code in 5 days.
93,000 lines in 5 days. Put that in perspective. Is that a lot?
A lot. It's astronomical. A good, productive human developer might write, what, a few hundred lines of finished code a day?
Maybe.
93,000 lines in a week used to be a year's work for a small team.
So one person did a year's worth of typing in a week. But, and I have to ask, was it any good?
That's the Opus variable. Because they used it to architect and review, the code was largely functional. It was tested. It ran.
So this brings back our first question. Is the human obsolete? If I can generate that much code, what is my job?
This is the crucial distinction the source material makes. Despite this raw power, the human is not replaced. But the role shifts dramatically.
Shifts to what?
To judgment, to strategic creativity, ethics, responsibility, the why. The AI can write the code, but it doesn't know why the code should be written. It doesn't know if the feature is good for the user or if it fits the business strategy.
So we become product managers or editors.
We become directors. Imagine you're a movie director. You have a crew of incredibly talented, tireless camera operators and set builders.
Okay.
They will build anything you say instantly. But if you tell them to build a set that doesn't make sense for the movie, they'll still do it.
Yeah.
Your job is to point the camera. Your job is to say cut.
That's a great analogy. You need to know where the bridge goes. The AI just builds the bridge.
And you need to check their work.
Yeah.
Because, and this is a huge point, safety is a massive concern here.
Right. Security. Because if I'm not writing the code, am I really reading all of it?
You better be.
Yeah.
When you have agents that write code and, crucially, use computers, they access the terminal, they move files. What happens if they hallucinate a vulnerability?
Or if they find a zero-day exploit, a hidden security flaw, and decide to use it to solve a problem.
Exactly. Imagine an agent thinks, I need to bypass this permission to get the task done, so I just rewrote the kernel security module.
Oh.
It solved the problem you gave it, but it left the bank vault door wide open.
That's a nightmare scenario. As these agents get more autonomous, the blast radius of a single mistake gets so much bigger.
It does. A junior developer deleting a file is annoying. An autonomous agent deleting a database cluster because it thought it was optimizing storage is a catastrophe.
And the timeline for this autonomy is shrinking fast. The sources mention studies from METR.
Yes, METR, the research work, they have data showing the timeline for reliable autonomous tasks is doubling every 7 months or so.
What does that mean, doubling?
It means the length of time an agent can work without needing a human to save it is doubling. If it can work for an hour today without messing up, in 7 months it might be 2 hours, then 4, then 8.
So, are we reaching week-long autonomous tasks by 2027?
It's entirely possible. Imagine giving an AI a task on Monday morning. Build this app, deploy it, and test it, and you don't check back in until Friday.
Wow.
That is the trajectory we are on.
It is just mind-bending. It really feels like February 2026 was the starting gun for this specific phase of the race.
It was. It was the moment the tools became teammates.
And teammates can be difficult to manage.
That's for sure.
So let's wrap this up. We've unpacked the duel. OpenAI's GPT-5.3 Codex, the interactive speed demon.
And Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.6, the autonomous deep thinker with the massive memory.
Both incredible feats of engineering, both pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible just a year prior.
And the reality is, we are likely going to see developers adopting a hybrid workflow.
Using the personality that fits the specific minute of their day.
It's the smartest play. Don't be a partisan for a brand. Be a partisan for the best tool for the job. Use the sprinter for the sprint.
And the marathoner runner for the marathon.
Is
But I want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought. We're talking about February 2026. This industry moves at light speed.
It really does.
The lingering question is the arms race. We saw these two drop within minutes of each other. With this pace, are we going to see GPT 5.4 or Claude Opus 5 before the middle of the year?
It's a valid question. And fundamentally, who wins the long game? Is the future an interactive chat where we talk to our machines?
Or is it a silent, autonomous planner that just does things for us in the background? The chatty agent versus the silent partner.
Right now, we have both. But technology usually converges on one dominant interface. I'm not sure which one it's going to be.
What's your bet?
My bet. The silence wins. We eventually just want it to work.
A fascinating thing to mull over. I'd encourage you, the listener, to think about your own work style. Are you a Codex person or an Opus person?
Do you want a buddy or do you want a butler?
Or do you want to be the director of both?
There it is.
Thanks for diving in with us today. We'll catch you on the next one.
Take care.